Hello, my name is James D. Lee. I am one of the Warner Brothers Discovery investors. Next week, first week of June, we will have our investors meeting with David Zaslav and members of WBD. WBD is Warner Brothers Discovery. Now, I want to make this clear that under no circumstances has David Zaslav or anyone at Warner Brothers Discovery tried to censor me, tried to shut me down, tried to alienate me from speaking at the investors meeting. The reason I will not be speaking at the investors meeting was I was not able to get in time to sign up to speak. Now, why am I doing this video? Many things at Warner Brothers has me concerned, especially after this weekend, Memorial Day weekend, and what happened at the box office. So we're going to be looking at some things that need to be addressed, specifically this year. Our movies that we have greenlit for this year look like garbage. Our biggest money-making movies, which right now have been Dune and Godzilla Kong, instead of placing them where they should have been on Memorial Day and on the 4th of July, we put them in March, 3 weeks apart. Why did we do this stupid action when we could have probably made $1 billion off both movies, and instead we came short of that? Why did we decide to move a movie that most of us, including myself, said months ago was going to be a bomb? And we still, the board-wise, said it was going to be the greatest movie this year. It was going to make us all this money this year. And it came out Memorial Day, and it tanked. It tanked so hard it was the worst box office for Memorial Day in 41 years. 41. Do you know how far back that is? That goes early 1980s. Early 1980s. And we bombed that hard because we made a movie called Furiosa. A movie that was of a character that nobody cared about. We didn't care about her when she was in Mad Max Fury Road. We still don't care about her. We never did. But because Mad Max was this hero white guy, we had to throw him out and try this movie, which we see bombed, which many of us said was going to bomb, but you don't listen. You never listen. You should be focusing on movies that you know customers and the general public will want to see. You should be focusing on trying to fix everything around those movies to get people to see them, not this race swap, sex swap, DEI crap that you keep running out the door. Because so far, except for Dune and Godzilla, for this year, we have failed on every movie that we've put out. And right now, the way the summer's looking, we're not going to have anything worth a damn until late August, which will be Beetlejuice. Yeah, late August. This summer is going to be the worst summer in Warner Brothers history that I've known, that I can think of since I've been alive. And that's 52 years. I mean, that's how bad things are at Warner Brothers right now. We need to take our heads out of our asses and quit looking at special interests and the Hollywood elite and everybody at Rotten Tomatoes, the Hollywood Reporter, and all that crap, and say we need to get back to getting the fans to trust us again. Because right now, the fans don't trust us at all. They do not trust us, not one bit. And that's going to be the key to getting everybody back in. And right now, we're not making movies that will do that. You keep talking about the future in Lord of the Rings. Let me explain something about Lord of the Rings. Amazon has ran that group into the ground. Nobody cares about it no more. You've got a lot of work to do to fix it. But we got to fix things now. We should not be in this boat in the first place. And I know what you're going to say. Oh, it was the writer's strike. You know what? We didn't need the writers. There's independent writers. I can name 4 off the top of my head that could do a hell of a lot better than anybody that you got in Hollywood right now. 4. You don't believe me? Contact me. I'll give you their names. Now, we need to figure out what movies we need to make, when to put them out. Our big movies need to come out Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, and Christmas. That's our 4 spots we need to be looking at for all movies, especially our big ones. These little movies that we can throw out for less than $50 million that we think we can make a profit off of, let's do it. We got no problem with that. I got no problem with that. You can make a horror movie. You can make an adventure movie for $50 million or under. But keep it where fans will want to see it. Don't believe me? Look at Meg 2. Look at how much money that movie made us. It was stupid, but it was fun. And everybody loved it. What movie didn't work? Well, let's see. Black Adam for a minute. What happened with Black Adam? Well, let's see. First, the comic book was in the toilet. Second, you took characters, race swapped them, then you brought in characters that were nothing but carbon copies from Marvel. Okay? You made a character that was just like Ant-Man. You made a character that was just like Storm, and you put them in the movie saying, look, we got new characters. No, you didn't. Nobody fell for it. Then you did Aquaman 2. What happened with Aquaman 2? Well, let's look. Again, the comic book, where was it? Oh, it was canceled after 6 issues because it wasn't even selling 5,000 copies a month. Plus, you had all that stigma with the actors. There needs to be accountability, not just for productions, but by the actors themselves. You need to hold them accountable. Look at The Flash. Look at Blue Beetle. What happened? Both of them failed. Why? Because everybody got tired of race swapping, gender swapping, and everything like that. Plus, the comic books were in the toilet. Right now, DC Comics has no comic book in the top 150 of comic books being sold except for Batman. DC Comics sales right now are as bad as they were in 1998. We all know what happened in 98. We need to focus on them as well to get their stuff fixed, because right now we're not doing that either. As much as I admire Jim Lee as an artist and stuff, as CEO of DC Comics, he sucks. We are failing on all fronts. Let us talk about the streaming service. The streaming service, Max. Why are we failing on Max? Why are we so desperate to run to Disney to try to get a Max Disney Hulu bundle to save our streaming service? Why? Well, let's look at that for a minute. Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. What's going on with those? 10 episodes, 8 episodes, 6 episodes. Then you got to wait 2 years for another season. You think people are going to wait that long? That's stupid. That's brain dead stupid. They're not. So what do you need to do? Real simple. Every greenlit series that you do on Max needs to be 24 episodes a season. You need to find 2 that's going to be your main ones. Say House of the Dragon, and say Superman or Batman or something. Shoot, I'll even throw another one out there. Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers. They're not even being talked about. You do 24 episodes. Wait 4 weeks, drop the other one, 24 episodes. That's 52 weeks. 52 weeks. That's a whole year. Then you turn around and do it again with season 2s. You can do that for 10 years. 10 years, those 2 seasons could run with everybody locked in, everybody coming to us. But instead, you don't do that. You won't do that because you're too stupid to see it. And yes, I'm going to be using the word stupid. I'm going to be using the word dumb. Because why? Because that's what you're acting. That's how you're doing things. My background is in business management. I have 30 years experience in business management. I understand that I have to change things to keep profitable. I understand that my customers are the most important thing to keeping my business open. Right now, we don't see that. Right now, we're not even paying attention to that. That should be the model we have. How do we get more and more people into those movie theaters? How do we get more and more people into our streaming services? And guess what? We're not doing that. You greenlit Furiosa, which has totally bombed, but you shelved Coyote versus Acme. That's a movie everybody wants to see. But for some stupid reason, you've decided, no, we're not going to show it. Put it out there. You put Flash out there knowing it wasn't going to make a goddamn dollar, and it barely made a few million, and we failed how much? $100 million. Put the goddamn movie out. You got nothing else to lose. You ain't got nothing for the rest of the summer. Put it out. I dare you to. No, you won't do that. You're not going to do that. But yeah, it needs to be put out. I'll say that right now. Bugs Bunny and all of his friends are a sure bet if you do it right. They're a sure deal. But you're passing it up. Now we have to wait all the way till Beetlejuice, which is in late August, for anything at the movies. Streaming service, I don't know what the hell you're doing. But you're missing all these opportunities. Everything around you, you're missing opportunities because you're doing dumb shit. You have totally failed on every front except for getting our debt down, which I praise you for that. Really, I do. I mean, when you took it over, what was it, $70 billion you took from AT&T? And now what are we at, 42 in 2 years? That's amazing. That's fantastic. But you need somebody with business management experience to be on the board to say, look, we cannot afford to do this movie because nobody's going to see it. We cannot afford to do this movie because nobody's going to see it. If we're going to do this movie, we got to fix everything around it. And right now, we're not doing that. I know several members of the board are stepping down because they're getting tired of getting chewed their butts out. Now, I'm not asking to be put on the board. Nope. Because none of the investors, nobody at the board, no, not even David Zaslav, know who I am. But I will say this. I know what works. As a successful author, I know what works. And I know how to run a business. And right now, no one at WBD knows how to do either one. Because all we do is fail. We come up short on our numbers. We come up short on our movie numbers. We come up short. Why are we coming up short? Because nobody trusts us. Nobody looks at a strategic plan for movies. Nobody looks at a strategic plan on what movies we're making. And we continually fail. We continually fail. And right now, I have lost half of my investment in WBD because the stock is at one of the slowest points since WBD got taken over by Discovery. Lowest point. Now, you've got some answering to do. And it's time to fix things. It is time to get things fixed. And I'll say this, I have no problem meeting with you, David Zaslav. I have no problem meeting with anybody in the board. I have no problem with meeting with anybody in the media. I'll talk my concerns. I'll show you what I know. But right now, we have to fix everything. And we have to stop this bleeding of money. We cannot afford to have more failures like Furiosa. We cannot afford that. Because right now, as I said, except for Godzilla and for Kong and Dune 2, we have not had one successful movie besides those two. Not one. And you think you deserve raises? You think you deserve bonuses? No. Failure is not rewarded. Failure is when you are held accountable. You succeed, you bring in world profits. If you'd have come in and told me that Godzilla and Kong both would have made $1 billion, and you just showed me the numbers, I'd be praising you. I'd be praising you here from who knows where. But you haven't done that this year. You don't have a Barbie movie for the summer. You have nothing for the movies for summer. Kevin Costner's Westerns, 6-part. I like Westerns. I really do. I love two of my favorites are The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly and Once Upon a Time in America. Well, not America, but in the West. Well, they're all done by Sergio Leone. Yes, I know my movies. I know history of movies. And I can tell you good movies and I can tell you bad movies. And I can tell you when a director's a dumbass and when a director's great. But there's things we got to fix. And right now, we have to do it now. We can't afford another year like this. We cannot afford another 6 months like this. We've got to have movies ready to go next year, Memorial Day, New Year, 4th of July, Labor Day, Christmas. 4 movies. 4 that are going to be surefire, guaranteed blockbusters. 2 of them easy. Dune, Godzilla. What are the other 2 going to be? Superman? I hope James Gunn's Superman it does. Because he's only going to get 1 shot at this. James Gunn, you're going to get 1 shot with Superman. 1 shot. And you better make it the greatest movie ever filmed in superhero history. Because right now, I haven't seen jack shit of it. Besides that picture, and that got ratioed all to hell. And you got to face off against the Avengers movies. And you got to be better than them. I don't think you can do it. Prove me wrong. And Jim Lee, DC Comics, you need to get your shit straight too. Because for 2 years, nobody at Warner Bros. Has even brought it up except me. But we are in the worst situation since 1998 with DC Comics and its sales. We have to fix things. We have to get the fans back. And we have to get the moviegoers back in the theaters. And right now, we're not doing it. And we cannot do it with movies like Furiosa. We've got to fix everything. We got to do it now. As I said, I'm willing to meet with anybody on the board, and I'm willing to meet with you, David Zaslav, to fix this. I'm not a hard person to find. But we got to start doing it now. And to the investors, all the investors of Warner Brothers, you know exactly what I've been talking about. You've seen it in your numbers. You've seen how much money you've lost. We're all losing money. Anybody that's investing in Hollywood right now is losing money. Nobody's made a profit. And that's going to David Zaslav and Mike Perlmutter and Isaac Perlmutter. They're over at Disney because Disney's are dumb. Disney's even worse. They don't even get me started about Disney and how bad Bob Iger is. I can't stand Bob Iger. Now, David Zaslav, I do actually like you. But just because I like you doesn't mean I'm not going to hold you accountable. We got to get things fixed. And I'm not asking to be on the board. I'm not. I'm asking, why are we not fixing things? Why are we continually growing? And I know what you're going to tell me. We have Lord of the Rings coming. We have Harry Potter coming. Harry Potter, I think will do good. I really do, because J.K. Rowling is part of it. You better keep her there too. But as for Lord of the Rings, you better send a message to Amazon to quit fucking it up. Because if they fuck it up bad enough, nobody's going to see your movies. Nobody. And we can't afford that. Again, we can't afford to make mistakes. We can't afford to make failures. We have got to sit on our movies. We have got to do them right. If that means cutting back to 4 or 5 movies a year, then let's cut back to 4 or 5 movies a year. Let's cut back to making sure we have surefire wins of movies. Because we don't need another Furiosa. We don't need challenges. We've got to do things right. And we've got to quit paying attention to special interests. All they want is to put their hands and their knives into our backs. They do not want to support us in any shape, way, or form. They just want. We have bigger fish to fry. We have got to get the fans. I will repeat it again. We have got to get the fans and the general public on our side to where they'll come see our movies. They did for Godzilla. They did for Doom. They did for Barbie. They're there. We just got to get them to trust us again. When we do that, we'll be successful. Again, my name is James D. Lee, and I have spoken to you as an investor, to all the investors, and to the board, and to David Zaslav. I wish I could say this openly, publicly, at the board meeting, but I didn't make it in time. Maybe next time I'll be able to speak. But before that, I do hope, and I really do hope, that you, David Zaslav, the board, or someone will talk to me and see where my concerns are and fix this mess. I'm not hard to find, and I know what I'm talking about with my experience. And I'll give you another little aspect. I'm also a cousin of Christopher Lee, the great actor. And I watched Hammer films. I paid attention to those films, and I paid attention to how successful they were. And you know what? It didn't cost them $100 million to make them to be successful. You know what? Godzilla Minus One didn't even cost $25 million to be successful. We have a lot of thinking to do and a lot of things we need fixed. And I thank you for your time. Have a great day.